Number one reason why people fail ADIT exam is not about knowledge and skills. It is about time management. And time management is a crucial skill that you need to master and apply to this particular exam to be successful. It is crucial to know how to allocate your time, because improper allocation of time to tasks in your exam during the sitting is the most common reason for failure. Balancing knowledge with timing is something you need to master before you go into the exam. And here I'll just share a few details about how you do it. So the first thing is, what you need to do is to review and prioritize questions. Before you jump into answering the questions during the exam, go through all the problems that you have on the list, review them, understand which of them are more complicated for you and which of them are easier, and prioritize them and allocate the time. So in the next block, you see the suggested time allocation for different problems. And the idea there is that you need to allocate time proportionally. The more points you could get for the problem, the more time you should spend. And to help with that, you need to use timer or clock to track the time. It's very easy to lose a feeling of time during the exam, be too stressed, and the time or the clock or the timer, if you have it, will help you properly allocate the time and will keep control of your flow. Common pitfalls. Number one, you neglect time for review and planning. You just jump into the first question and just spend as much time as you want on it. That's a path to failure, because what will happen is that you spend too much time on the first question or the question you started with, and then you will have insufficient time to do the rest. Don't do that. The second one is overreading permitted text. ADIT exam is very tricky. They allow you taking the materials which have all the answers. So if someone would have unlimited time and would be given with permitted text, they would pass the exam successfully. Just because most of the answers to all of the problems that you have are in permitted text, meaning like OECD guidelines for our transfer pricing exam. That's why people tend to overread them. So they would go and start reading all the chapter of OECD guidelines, and then time's up. You didn't write anything or didn't write enough in the questions. Don't do that. You need to effectively master the skill of working with permitted text, which is covered in my transfer pricing ADIT preparation course. And then the last common pitfall is focusing on preferred questions. So you just go through the list of the questions, and you're like, okay, I like this question, I know the answer to it, I spend the most time on it. That's very wrong. You should do the opposite. You should spend more time on more difficult questions that you don't know how to answer from the first go, rather than spending most of your time on questions that you're comfortable with. Because that's where you will get your points anyway. You can, if you know the answer, you can just give very good answer in a very short time. The best way to avoid those pitfalls is to prepare well. And you can do that by simulating exam conditions. Set the timer, use the past paper, and just go through the past paper like it is a real exam condition. This way you will know and master this time skill allocation, and then you will get much better feeling about how the exam can go. In my course, there is a mock exam, and there are a lot of case studies and questions that simulate the exam, and that's how, according to my ADIT preparation method, you can be ready with and feel comfortable during the exam in terms of time management. If you want to spend 60% less time preparing for the exam and increase your chances more than twofold of passing the exam on the first try, and you also want to learn more successful strategies like this one for preparation, visit my webpage starttax.com, where you will find the online ADIT transfer pricing course, after which 98% of students successfully pass their exam on the first try.